We're here in Singapore. We're gonna go over to the merlion, which has significance to this country city. It is half a mermaid, half a lion. The fishtail part represents this being an old fishing village, and the lion part is what Singapore is originally named for, which is Singapura. Sing is lion and Pora is city, and this is known as Lion City. Although there's no lions in this city unless you go to the zoo, which we'll go to later, I don't understand why it's Lion City. Intro. According to legend, a 13th century Sumatran prince named Sang Nila Utama spotted what he believed was a lion on the island. Though lions were never native to the region, it was likely a tiger, which in Sanskrit would have made it Viagra City. And as hilarious as Boner City would be, I feel like people wouldn't take it quite as serious. As you can probably tell, I am quite the history buff, so much so that my history buffness has been described as amazing. I had a history scholar tell me, "Mike, your historical inaccuracies and inability to piece things together is amazing." So without further ado, here is Sentosa Island and Fort Siloso. They've got a lot of history here. Fort Siloso, located on Sentosa Island in Singapore, is a historic coastal fort that played a key role in defending Singapore during its colonial period. Built in the late 19th century by the British, it was part of a series of fortifications designed to protect Singapore, then a vital trading port, from potential naval threats. Fort Siloso was equipped with heavy artillery and positioned strategically to guard the western entrance to Keppel Harbor. During World War II, it saw action in the Battle of Singapore as Japanese forces advanced. However, the fort's coastal guns, designed to counter naval attacks, were largely ineffective against land-based assaults, and Singapore fell to the Japanese in 1942. After the war, Fort Siloso was used as a prisoner of war camp for Japanese soldiers before eventually being decommissioned in 1956. In the 1970s, the site was transformed into a historical attraction, preserving its military heritage. Today, it serves as Singapore's only remaining coastal fort and is a popular museum showcasing the island's wartime history. Visitors can explore its tunnels, gun emplacements, and interactive exhibits, gaining insight into both the fort's role in Singapore's defense and the broader history of the region during the colonial and wartime eras. After a brief stop at the beach, mostly because I forgot my sunscreen, I took the tram to go catch a freaking laser beam show. And now, for continuity's sake, it is the next day and I'm at the Singapore Zoo. The Singapore Zoo officially opened in 1973 and is renowned as one of the world's most progressive and well-designed wildlife parks. Spanning 26 hectares within the lush Mandai rainforest, it was envisioned as an open-concept zoo, minimizing the use of cages and instead utilizing natural barriers like moats and elevated ridges to house animals. It is the visitor experience, but also prioritizes the animals' welfare by creating spacious, naturalistic habitats. Over the years, the zoo has grown to house over 300 species, including rare and endangered animals like the white tiger, the pygmy hippopotamus, and orangutans. The zoo's history reflects Singapore's broader push towards conservation and education, with its parent organization, Mandai Wildlife Group, playing a vital role in global breeding programs and wildlife research. Ethics and animal welfare are central to the zoo's operations. Unlike traditional zoos, the Singapore Zoo emphasizes conservation, rescue, and education, striving to balance public engagement with ethical treatment. Its participation in international breeding programs and partnerships with conservation organizations underscores a commitment to species preservation. The zoo has also been proactive in addressing animal welfare concerns, maintaining high standards of care and enrichment for its inhabitants. However, as with all zoos, debates persist about the ethics of keeping wild animals in captivity. Critics argue that even in the most naturalistic enclosures, animals may experience stress or lack the full range of behaviors they would exhibit in the wild. The Singapore Zoo counters this by advocating for its role in conservation and education, aiming to inspire visitors to support wildlife preservation efforts globally. And here are my personal thoughts on the whole situation after visiting the zoo.
Animal house, house, house. Nobody ever went to class. Then we saw Donald Sutherland's ass. Animal house, house, house. Animal house, house, house. Then they did the end like American Graffiti, where you found out what happened to everyone.
That's mostly it, folks.